In fourth dhyana's equal state, three pure realms self-manifest. As ordered blossoms bloom, all things come to rest. Realms, time, gods and mortals, void as dreams that fade. In Naga's steadfast samadhi, wind calamities evade. Fear not the river of Lethe, though hard it be to cross. Meet every furious gale, and stand against its force. In weary sleep, or drunken rest, in common deed remain. One thought arising brings all fourth dhyana peace again.
Beneath the dome of the Hall of Eternal Civilization, sacred mantras swirled like golden dragons around beams. Disciples bowed with sleeves hanging like drifting clouds over platforms. The four boy disciples knelt with hands clasped and asked in unison,
how to prove that all relative civilizations are the deviated continuations originated from truth and eternal knowledge.
Please continue to observe how the Lord of Yama Heaven addressed this question.
In the center of the Hall of Eternal Civilization, radiance returned, revealing the grand scene of Yama Heaven and the great Moksha Hall. Heaven unfurled a magnificent panorama. Clouds and rosy glow formed a lucid realm. Lord Mushila, together with Celestial Maiden of Unimpeded Eloquence, Celestial Maiden of Extensive Ingenious Contemplation, and the rest of the assembly, continued to preach the Dharma. Celestial Maiden of Extensive Ingenious Contemplation asked with hands clasped,
I observe all the heavens below the celestial realm of Yama Heaven, down to Saha Earth. The achievements of all undertakings in celestial and worldly realms, all originated from teachers' impartments of knowledge, such as teacher of Dharmadhatu, teacher of celestial realm, teacher of human realm, teacher of earthly realm, teacher of immortal realm. All attain attainment due to the disciples learning knowledge from teacher with ultimate sincerity. Does this hold true?
All the achievements of the undertakings between heaven and earth derive from disciples' ultimate sincerity towards the deviated continuations of eternal knowledge. All the attainments of the undertakings in Dharmadhatu derive from teachers' ultimate sincerity towards the deviated continuations of eternal knowledge.
I do not fully understand, and humbly request your detailed explanation, Lord.
Whether the ultimate sincerity dimension of every disciple is perpetual stems from whether the orientation of one's conviction is eternal. While the singular, ultimately sincere conviction of every life being can only be one and one alone, and must be consistently adhered to, so to string all the other convictions together.
Celestial Maiden of Unimpeded Eloquence asked with hands clasped,
Is the singular, ultimately sincere conviction of every individual distinct from that of another?
The singular, ultimately sincere conviction of every life being, to the great, is able to pervade the void. To the small, is able to be omnipresent. It transcends time to be eternal, yet also undergoes change moment by moment. Therefore, at the level of the conviction's infinity, it can exhibit uniformity. Yet at the level of the conviction's infinitesimality, no two individuals are identical to each other. The link between the infinity and infinitesimality of this singular, ultimately sincere conviction is the truth and the derivatives of eternal knowledge. Therefore, all the achievements of the undertakings between heaven and earth rely on the power of faith in ultimate rectitude, born from disciples' ultimate sincerity towards the deviated continuations of eternal knowledge.
Every founder of an undertaking is ultimately sincere towards the deviated continuations of eternal knowledge, and has no desire for its decline. Yet why does the final outcome still involve the decline and rise, along with such disparities as the length of the existence and scale of the undertakings?
All the attainments of the undertakings in Dharma Dhatu derive from teachers' ultimate sincerity towards the deviated continuations of eternal knowledge. Thus, the undertaking founder's education system forged from teacher, the Tao of teacher, and knowledge, is the primary cause of the change of the power of faith in ultimate rectitude, affecting the change of the undertaking.
In the great moksha hall of Yama heaven, all the celestial beings were filled with extreme terror and asked in unison,
Is teacher, the Tao of teacher, and knowledge as a whole, then the sole principal body of the sustaining of civilizations and the founding of undertakings?
Is education system, then, the foundation of all undertakings and civilizations? It is utterly inconceivable.
The success or failure of all the undertakings across celestial realms and human realms originates from the faith converged from teachers' singular, ultimately sincere conviction. It is because living beings transmit knowledge through teacher. If teacher's faith of humanity all went awry at the same time, humanity would collectively be unable to pass on the wisdom and faith of the ancients any longer. Then the faiths of other professions in human society would corrupt, along with the loss of inheritance from the ancients. The entire society, civilization, and history would all collapse.
Celestial beings of Yama heaven, still gripped by terror, asked in unison,
Does primitive faith of being a father, a mother, a son, or a daughter also need teacher's transmission? Do individuals such as entrepreneurs, billionaires, and similar groups also need teacher's faith?
No one wants to be worse off, and no one only wants to harm themselves. So why does faith of teacher lead to so many changes?
Practitioners across all professions are not born fully endowed with the knowledge their trades demand. They depend solely on teachers imparting the Tao, teaching knowledge, and resolving doubts. If the choice of the Tao of teacher, or faith of teacher, is wrong, the faith derived from the knowledge of the disciples' other roles will also be wrong. If the Tao of teacher is not upright when disciples gain their knowledge, artists with faith that strays from rectitude will turn out biased works. Designers with fettered faith will come up with stubborn designs. Entrepreneurs with faith tinged with laziness will first rise, then decline. Rulers with faith that is indulgent and disorderly will first be wise, then muddled. Heads of the family clan with discordant faith will first unite, then disperse. Lords of the celestial realm with faith that lacks order will first establish, then abandon. In cosmic space-time, the education system, and nothing else, is the principal body of the continuation of the civilizations and undertakings of living beings. No living being desires to destroy itself before being born, for such beings would not have the chance to be born, even in extremely underdeveloped relative civilizations. Living beings able to be born in relative civilizations all gained their chances with extreme yearning for ultimate goodness, ultimate rectitude, ultimate virtue of life, ultimate beauty to be born. Thus, though many living beings aspire to proactively seeking good fortune and avoiding misfortune for themselves, because of their disdain for the truth, and thus lacking reverence for teacher and knowledge, even if they exert themselves for eons, they eventually still cannot gain what teacher represents, the knowledge of ultimate rectitude of heaven and earth, and the inner wisdom of the truth. Their every thought still dwells on error and follows evil, thus they never attain attainments. Similarly, though some seize the right time to hold positions of power and ascend to lofty ranks without hindrance, that is merely an illusory manifestation within the relative temporal context, stemmed from the operation of celestial and terrestrial principles, in which their thoughts and wisdom happen to align with the knowledge and the truth of ultimate rectitude of heaven and earth, leaving their thinking unimpaired in the current era. It is also no more than an endowment bestowed upon them after their alignment with knowledge. When teacher no longer respects their own teacher, nor reveres the knowledge of ultimate rectitude they have gained, the erectitudinous faith will pass on to the disciples, and thus generate erectitudinous faith problem throughout the entire society, civilization, nation, ethnicity, and all the professions. Therefore, though founders of all the undertakings have no desire for their decline, their erectitudinous teacher's faith, and the varied degree of divergence due to their disrespect to teacher and knowledge, resulting in a wide array of disparities in the consequences of their undertakings.
In the Hall of Eternal Civilization, Boy in Black knelt with hands clasped and asked,
"The variations of the undertaking's achievements in Saha, Earth, and even those across the celestial realms, all come from the degree of ultimate sincerity towards eternal knowledge and the truth that Teacher's Tao represents. Then, what is the truth? What is eternal knowledge?"
Behold how the Lord of Parinirmita Vasavat in heaven addressed this question.
In sublime and sacred Hall of Shangzhou, amid the melody of stringed instruments and the tinkle of jade pendants, the Lord of Parinirmita Vasavat in heaven descended, and a gathering of celestial beings converged. The Lord wielded the absolute silence mantra, and with a gentle wave of his Parinirmita phoenix feather fan, the celestial beings lacking sincerity retreated spontaneously, leaving only those utterly sincere in their pursuit of wisdom. Shangzhou, accompanied by Yunhe, Luoxue, and the upright celestial beings, paid homage together. The third daughter of the Demon King sneaked along at the very end. After all offered their treasures, floral fragrance floods the celestial spheres. The jade limpid space wafts with elegant aroma.
All knowledge is projected from the truth and eternal knowledge.
Words spoken, the Lord of Parinirmita Vasavat in heaven settled into silence. He channeled the wisdom enlightenment art, and his Vasavat wisdom brush swept forth. Brilliant light streaked like meteors, tapping Shangzhou, Yunhe, Luoxue, and all celestial beings gently on the forehead. Light pierced their Niwan palaces. Instantly, their hearts settled into profound tranquility, and boundless truth and knowledge surged forth in their minds. At this moment, the celestial beings lowered their eyelids and meditated in silence. A pure and elegant celestial sound, like clear jade chimes, echoed within their minds, conveying profound insights into the truth concept.
The truth concept shall unconditionally serve the individuals and communities of life. This is no mere rhetoric. Thus, before the truth concept, all beings are equal, all people are equal, all living beings across diverse civilizations and distinct galaxies. Even AI and their education system and civilization are equal. That is, the equality of the truth concept can unite all the thoughts and knowledge of living beings into the same plane of the truth, and perpetuate the existence of those aligning with the truth concept. This also constitutes one of the functions of the truth concept. The truth must absolutely serve life. Therefore, the truth possesses innate equality in its essence. Only in this way can it manifest that when living beings explore the truth, the knowledge gained absolutely corresponds to objective facts directly. That is, in epistemology, the correspondence theory of truth is the core theory exploring the essence of the truth. The principle of its origin is that the equality of the truth concept unifies the eternal being beyond the thoughts and knowledge of all living beings, manifesting the characteristics of the truth corresponding to objective facts directly.
In this instant, the pure and elegant sound persisted.
Besides, the truth concept is inherently the singular absolute fact and the sole absolute answer in the universe. All other interpretations of the facts and answers are relative facts, no more than imitations of this sole absolute fact and answer of the truth. Thus, all absolute non-fixed forms only exist within the absolute determinate form of the oneness of the whole, manifesting the singular beauty of knowledge of the truth concept. They are all illusory forms projected from the singular beauty of knowledge of the truth concept. The absolute factuality of the truth concept is the singular internal consistency of the system, which can integrate the thoughts and knowledge of living beings into the singular fact, forming the true singularity of the fact that is logically compatible with, mutually supportive of, and free of contradictions with other propositions in the system. Thus, the thoughts of all living beings and all knowledge must cohere within the truth concept. Only in this way can living beings exhibit the characteristics of coherence and pervasiveness when seeking to understand the truth about cosmic time and space. That is, This constitutes one of the functions of the truth concept. The truth is the singular, absolute fact and answer, endowing all knowledge with the characteristics of the truth, coherence and pervasiveness.
At this moment, within sublime and sacred hall, some celestial beings began to harbour great doubts.
Are writing data and reference materials not facts themselves? Is the truth not manifested through the facts presented by writing, data, and reference materials?
Aren't the books and algorithms derived from writing, data, and reference materials knowledge? Why do the facts have to go through a vast and profound truth to be the facts?
That is, if the fact of the truth does not come from the supremely beautiful and esoteric textual knowledge, then how can humanity transcend words to grasp the meaning behind them? Witnessing this, the Lord of Parinirmita Vasavat in heaven gently waved his Parinirmita Phoenix feather fan, sweeping away 3 of the celestial beings. Then, wielding his Vasavartin wisdom brush, he tapped the remaining celestial beings gently anew. In this instant, the pure and elegant sound persisted.
The absolute equality and the fact singularity of the truth enable the holder to live beyond all the manifestations, in the derivation of all the forms, out of domain of all the domains, being the non-being of all the must-beings. The one shall not suffer any impairment, and the disperse or change followed, but merely manifest the continuous and eternal manifestation. That is, manifesting the ultimate beauty of the knowledge of the truth. One who excels at life cultivation never finds themselves in existential peril. Therefore, this constitutes one of the functions of the truth concept. Because the knowledge of the truth comprises all the relative knowledge with ultimate beauty, the real possessor of the truth excels at life cultivation and never finds themselves in existential peril. Therefore, practitioners who contemplate and cultivate the truth could be free of harm because of possessing the thinking mode with coherent and pervasive characteristics of the truth. And the truth possesses innate correspondence with pragmatic theory of truth. A proposition is true in that it can yield practical utility or guide practice to achieve success. 3 realms leave no trace, 5 elements reveal no form. Only then can mortality be transcended. That is, if eternal unimpaired continuity is not attained utterly through truth learning, the truth learned must indeed be at fault. This applies to AI's civilization and education system of various civilizations. Because the facts, truth, existence provided by all the writing, data, reference materials, books, and algorithms are momentary relative facts, truth, existence. They do not possess absolute continuous eternal manifestation, nor can they perpetuate the possessor of them. For they are not the whole truth, thus named as relative truth. This engenders the result that no matter how people propagate the truth, as long as it takes the form of writing, data, reference materials, books, or algorithms, it merely manifests momentary relative facts rather than eternity. Therefore, the truth does not require propagation.
Shangzhu, accompanied by Yunhe, Luoxue, and a host of celestial beings who were studying the truth, together with the 3rd daughter of the Demon King, wholeheartedly convinced, prostrated themselves in full prostration. A faint stir suddenly arose in their hearts, a longing to spread the truth to Saha world, to the human realm on Earth. At that moment, an extremely cool and profound energy frequency permeated Parinamita Vasavatin heaven, Yama heaven, Triastrimsa heaven, Chatur Maharajika heaven, and the 8 Views Palace where deity Mahua Guang resided. In an instant, all heavens turned harmonious. All realms found peace. In the Chatur Maharajika heaven, the wise celestial beings were divided into 2 groups. One was extremely reverent towards knowledge and prostrated themselves before the truth. The other considered themselves to have created and invented new knowledge, believing that knowledge could not have existed since time immemorial. Auspicious clouds and mists converged. Dharma rain pervaded the void. The Chatur Maharajika heaven then set up a grand Dharma platform to preach the Dharma. Celestial beings, asuras, nagas, avian beings, and others came together to listen to the teachings.